Well, you guys know what to do. There's mics on either side. You're going to line up, and then Mr. Ferrigno is going to answer some questions.
Thank you. It's a great treat for Sunday afternoon. See this wonderful fan. Looking forward to have a wonderful time. Let's get going.
Let's get going. All right. Well,
You're prominent when I sit in that chair. I'm going to be talking about.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
I'm
green,
sorry.
it's green too.
I'm sorry. I'm too excited to be on stage with the Hulk. All right. Well, I think there's a shark that wanted to ask a question. Hello.
Hello. I'm Mr. Ferrigno. It's nice to meet you. Bonjour. Just saying, of course, to some people I will not ask something about the Hulk or even the other character we saw in the screen too. You know, I mean, when we were waiting, we see a portrait of you with the Hulk, and you know. However, I will not need to distract us from the main subject, but recently I do know that you portrayed Louis Montana in the miniseries The Offer. I know this. Yeah. And the point is that, I mean, it was a very interesting role that you played. I mean, a wrestler became a wrestler turned gangster, returned to an actor too. It's a really interesting backstory, you know. And how do you feel about it?
Yeah, you're gonna repeat the question, baby.
Would you say how do you feel about the backstory of the character that you portrayed in The Offer?
Or at least how do you feel to portray the
You mean what did I do to get ready to prepare for the offer?
Yeah, and how did you feel about it?
Well, the thing is that Lucy Brasti, you know, he's a former hitman, and then apparently he was a murderer too. So what happened? When I saw the original movie in 1972. I was a fan of The Godfather, but then I remember doing the research about it, knowing that the fact that where he came from, because I had a bond with the other actors on the set, that I'm indebted to Colombo and the other mafia guys, that the fact that because I'm protecting their life, I'm indebted to life. So basically, it was a small preparation. It was a lot of fun because I'm Italian myself, and I remember from Brooklyn, it reminded me a lot of the background of the mafia situation back in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I go in interest to The Godfather. I mean, my father is a total Godfather maniac, I swear. He's really into the mafia underworld, everything. He's really passionate about it. And
Thank you.
And just saying, before it's done, I'm just saying, but of course we didn't see, you know, in The Offer, we didn't see, you know, the movie, but we saw the reaction, how the people reacted well when the actors were filmed. Just saying, but is that not a problem if you recopy Luca Brasi? I mean, Louis Montana as Luca Brasi, and you know, when he said to Victor Corleone, played by Marlon Brando, his line, does it bother you?
I didn't quite follow that question.
Yeah.
Can you say it in one sentence?
Oh, well, I'll try. I mean,
But this is the last question.
of course, no problem. That's fine. Of course, I don't want to be awkward too, you know. Am I too awkward?
No. We just have a limited amount of time with this panel. We want to make sure we get to as many audience questions. And there's a very patient X-Man waiting. X-person.
Don't worry. I'll do really fast. I mean, can you just copy Louis Montana's line as Luca Brasi at the beginning of the movie? If that doesn't bother you?
Wait 1 second. Let's speak slowly. I'm hard of hearing. One person at a time. Could you repeat the question he was saying?
Luke Brasi?
Yeah, the character.
That's the character in The Offer. But what is that? Is your question? One sentence. What is the question? Just the question.
Yeah. Can you repeat Louis Montana's line for us?
Was it the most famous line for us?
Well, I mean, at the beginning when we see him meeting with Vito Corleone.
I think it's better if you come to my table and that write a sentence on a piece of paper. We'll answer the question at the table because to make it easy for you.
Exactly. So thank you so much. We'll go to the next question. No. He'll see you at the table. Thank you so much.
I'll not be there after that.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, next time. Hello. What is your name and what is your question?
Why, hey there, sugar.
Thank you.
Me and my mama, we love you.
I feel like we did a stage play. Yeah, like production going on, pre-production.
I mean, the costume budget is fantastic.
As you see from here, I like the gold and the green, especially.
Oh, excellent.
I was wondering if you could do an old gal a favor and turn into the Hulk.
I wish I could, but I'm not in the green makeup. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your question. Thank you.
What is your question and what is your name?
Hi, I'm Chris. You've had the most phenomenally interesting life. Can you talk a little bit about training Michael Jackson and about your experience as a sheriff?
Michael Jackson and... Well, Michael Jackson, apparently, we were friends. And we were friends with his plastic surgeon. So apparently one day as a surgeon, his doctor said, listen, Michael needs some weight training, but he can't go to a gym. Can you supervise, train him? Because I was a trainer for many years. I trained many different actors. So we became friends because I admired his passion for music. He admired my passion for fitness. We became very good friends. And we collaborated a lot because we had some of the fathers, very abusive fathers, like a love-and-hate relationship. Not getting to be a sheriff, my father was an NYPD lieutenant at the police department. So about maybe 19 years ago, I was talking to the sheriff of LA, and I told him I was fascinated with law enforcement. He said, why don't you go through the academy? I said, I want to do the honorary thing, I want to do the real deal. So I took 6 months, I went through the academy, the shooting, the driving, the studying, all the laws of the Constitution, the rest. And then it was a big accomplishment for me because I wanted to give back, protecting life and property. It was a great experience, and it changed my life. So basically when I'm staying, I see what the other side of officers go through. It's not what you think it is, because once you're on duty, wearing the costume, I mean, you may take a bullet, you deal with a crime situation, you want to go home in one piece. So it's been pretty rough, but I do a lot of search and rescue, and it's one of my greatest accomplishments in life.
Thank you, Chris. And your name and your question.
Hello, my name is Matt. I want to ask about the Eric Andre show. How was that for you, and did you know what you were getting into?
Well, I had a rotator cuff surgery, and they told me I'm going to do the show. I've never heard of it. So apparently this guy with the green makeup, he came stand next to me, and he kept doing this to me. He kept antagonizing me. It was a surprise. And I was on medication. And then basically I wasn't that comfortable because sometimes you have some celebrities, sometimes they do interviews, they walk off the show because they be asking different personal questions, obnoxious could be. So I made the gesture that if he continued to keep touching me, annoying me, I'm gonna walk off the show. Because I didn't like the way I was being treated because they were looking for drama, for trouble. And it's not my cup of tea.
Have you watched it? Have you seen what they did with it?
You mean the show? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because the interview probably lasted like an hour, and like they try to break you down, but they edit it into like 1 minute and a half, and they make you say stuff you maybe didn't say. They just edit it in a funny way. I mean, it was one of the most memorable episodes. I actually thought you were going to hit him. Like, how close were you to actually hitting the guy?
Well, I would never touch or hit him. I would just walk off the show because, especially if somebody keeps poking on you. But I'm a very positive person, and there's sometimes people just want negativity. Like they're on TV shows, sometimes they just want the negativity they're focused on, and they were trying to antagonize me. So basically, I was smart enough to know that to walk over the gentleman instead of, just like when I did Celebrity Apprentice with Donald Trump. You know, in that show, everybody's backstabbing, lying. So it's the same thing, but me, I'm a very strong personality. I knew that it was my best gesture to leave the show than just get involved in a feud for no reason and then look like an angry person.
It was a great episode. The fans loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. What is your name and what is your question?
Jonathan from the Wrestle Rock podcast. I have a special question for you because if my memory is good, you were in attendees for WrestleMania 7 My question is really simple. Are you still a wrestling fan, my friend?
Oh, I love wrestling. I love to watch them. All the characters. I'm friends with Hulk Hogan, John Cena, all these people. You know, don't get me wrong. It's a tough sport. I mean, especially getting hit with a chair. I mean, it's a lot of work involved, especially the personality like Dwayne Johnson. I've seen him at Gold Gym. Yeah, I find it very fun and entertaining.
And have you been approached by the WWE for wrestling training or?
Well, at the time they had the World Bodybuilding Federation. I mean, I was never interested in being a wrestler. Vince McMahon did approach me about wrestling, but it's something that I wasn't interested in wrestling. I like to watch it because it's just like an actor. If you're not interested in the character, it's not going to work for you. I was more interested in the bodybuilder because that was my passion.
Thank you so much, Mr.
You're welcome.
Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Ken, and I'd like to ask, I saw you in Star Trek Continues. You did an episode there, and I was really surprised. I'd like to know if you could say anything about how that came about.
Well, I've always been a big fan of Star Trek. And there was a friend of mine named Vic Magana. He created an online series. And we were talking one day, he said, I have to come to your house, I have a project for you. I said, okay. He comes to my house, we have a nice conversation. He said, I have a wonderful character to play online, part of the old wine race. I said, yeah, I love it. He said, you gotta be painted green. You gotta have a bald cap, you gotta be bald. And apparently I said, okay. But the funny thing is that the wine race, it's green. So when I heard the word green, I almost wanted to get discouraged, but I just love the character, so we came up with the name Donahan. I don't know if you guys see it, it's on TV, it's on the computer, it's on StarTrekContinue.com, the episode called Onani. And I wanted to get a chance to play this slave trader that reclaimed his slave. It was a wonderful acting experience. The makeup, to manufacture took like 4 hours. And then we were filming in Florida, and the stage had no air conditioning. So they had like 5 fans on me at the same time to cool me down because when you have a bald cap, they have like an opening, so when you sweat, it drains through the back. But bald cap sometimes takes like 45 minutes to put on, plus all the green makeup. But it was a beautiful character. But you can see why I was so angry in the show. Thank you.
Probably helpful having that real life experience.
It's interesting because it's different characters, but if you get a chance to check it out yourself, it's beautiful because you can see how evil he was, and he would do anything to convince the crew for his slave, but at the same time he was a killer. So it's interesting to watch, yeah.
That's wonderful, I can't wait to see it. What is your name and what is your question?
Hello, my name is Mark, and I'm a little young for when the Hulk first came out. But when I first saw you was on The King of Queens, when you had your recurring role as yourself. So just my question was, do you have a funny story of something that happened on set or off set with Kevin James and Jerry Stiller?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I really don't have any great stories. I know that when you work with them backstage, they're very quiet people, they're very subdued. But you're in front of the camera, they're incredible. The chemistry, the personality. It was a fun show because the hardest thing about King and Queens, you're in front of a live audience like this, you don't have a chance to do 5 or 6 different takes, only 1 or 2 takes, because if it's not funny, it's not going to work. So the preparation before, when you read the script from the network, they do a lot of elimination of different lines. They want to make sure it sounds funny because comedy is hard to do. I mean, you can't be funny, you've got to be the character. But to me, it was a good experience because every day in life, I go through the same thing. People say Incredible Hulk jokes. They scream all kinds of, funny things at me. So that's why we incorporated on the show. So it was a lot of fun, especially that instant gratification.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Kevin, and my question is about bodybuilding. When you went back into bodybuilding, I think it was 93, 94, to compete, how was that hard to compete with younger bodybuilders?
You mean when I came back to competition?
Yeah, when you came back, was it 93?
I don't know if they all know. I did Pumping Iron Arnold Schwarzenegger at 23. I did the Hulk series. I retired. One day I woke up, I just started to compete again because to me it was unfinished business. It was 1992, I was 42 years old. The hardest thing for me wasn't the competition, it was to develop the hunger to compete again. That was huge because at the time with a wife and 3 kids, before when I was competing, when I was young, I was living home with my parents, I had my own bedroom, I could shut the door, have my own space, you know, dieting and then watching TV, but I had no social life. By 42, it was a whole different family situation for me. So to develop the hunger, like the diet, the hunger to compete, because I knew to come back to competition, I had to look like a 90s bodybuilder, not like in the 70s, because the bodybuilders competing back then was my age, but the new competitors, the improvement, the physique, and the diet, the training was so much more advanced. So basically, that was a challenge for me, but I'm glad I did it because it was a challenge, because when you develop that hunger, means that anything else in life, you develop the hunger to be successful, it's the same thing, it's about that discipline. So at least to me, it was finished business. If I never came back to competition, it would always been what if I should have competed, because when I competed Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was not at my best. I only trained like 7-8 weeks, but at least I had the chance to fulfill that desire in me.
What is your name and your question?
My name is Hal. This is my question about late Bill Bixby. Rest in peace. What was your best time working with him on this series, The Incredible Hulk?
The best time was that after the Hulk aired the first season, I had a chance to have actors, very famous actors like Cary Grant, people from all over to visit me on the set. Because to me, the best experience, I would say the fact that every country in the world embraced the Hulk. It was something that was new to every country. Beautiful because I was so well respected, because growing up, I was a Hulk my whole life. So when I did the Hulk, I had a chance to get that respect, because growing up as a kid, I had to overcome diversity. I had to deal with the speech, the hearing issues, everything. People call me deaf, mute, deaf Louie when I was a kid. So when I did the Hulk, I felt like the Hulk. When I got that huge respect, it to me, it gave me a chance to give people hope out there, like people that with disabilities, people that, for example, blind, crippled, whatever. The most important thing is to mention that around the whole world, that the fact that they will have to break doors, smash things, I would do for them through the TV situation, release all those demons, because every one of us has a little Hulk inside of us, but they feel they're released when I accomplished doing the Hulk. So that's the most exciting part for me.
Thank you.
What's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Chaz, and I was one of those kids who lived vicariously through you, Lou. I wanted to ask about the role of the Hulk. How did that come about? Did you audition, or did they just say, oh, this guy's the Hulk? You know, like, how did you get the role? 2-part question. Outside of the show, how close were you with Bill Bixby? That's
okay. The first question, how I got the Hulk.
Yeah.
Well, what happened though, I was competing for competition. I was training for the 1977 Mr. Olympia competition. They were shooting the Hulk with another actor named Richard Kiel, who played George and James Bond. The guy was like 7'2". So one day, a director came on the set with his son, and the boy said to his dad, "This is not the Hulk." His father said, "What's wrong?" He said, "He doesn't look like the Hulk, like the comic book, the big muscle." So they realized at the same time, Richard Kiel was a great actor, but it didn't work for the character. Then they did a nationwide search course. So my phone rang, and they said, "We have an audition for you." They will audition many different big guys for the part. I remember when I went down for the screen test, and of course they said, "We want to paint you green for the screen test." And I made an excuse, I said, "I gotta catch a plane, I don't know if I want to get painted green." They were so desperate, they literally begged me. So I went for the screen test, and then the next day I was filming. The next day I went for bodybuilding to be the Hulk, because they had to reshoot the whole pilot. It wasn't like the situation when you put on the show and shoot a few weeks later, because it was over the budget. Father Bill Bixby, he was like my mentor, like a second father to me, because when you work on the set with another actor, like a TV series, you spend more time with the actor than your family, than friend. We're talking like 40 to 60 hours a week. And Bill was a wonderful person, but I've learned so much from him just watching him. He was like a mastermind of acting. It's incredible. So, that's your answer.
Could I do a quick follow-up? Did you even know who the Hulk was before you got offered the role, or was that just a...
Yes, as a kid, I used to read all the Hulk comic books. The reason why I was very attracted to the Hulk, because, you know, children obsessed with power. For me, I love the Hulk because the Hulk was the only character that had no clothes on, just spandex.
Thank you so much for being a hero, and thank you.
But I was saying that I was a Hulk my whole life because I lived a very difficult life, like angering me, so I related to the character. And that's why when you read the magazine, to me it was believable, if I was like G versus E, the strength, the look of him.
Thank you so much.
Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Yeah, my name is Benoit. Mr. Ferrigno, my question is, your father was a policeman. I read somewhere that your father was a policeman. Would you have chosen a career in the police force if you hadn't been a bodybuilder?
So your father was a policeman. Would you have chosen a career in the police force if you hadn't been a bodybuilder?
To be honest with you, because of my hearing situation, I couldn't be a policeman back then because, you know, now I have a cochlear implant, I have a hearing aid, it's different. But back then when I was young, I could not get involved as a city worker, like for example, sanitation worker or a policeman. But I admire him when he did as a police officer. That's why many years later when I had the chance to be a police officer. I think the answer is that if I was born in different situations, if I had normal hearing, I would never have been a bodybuilder. I would have probably been a police officer, maybe like a detective. But it's funny that losing my hearing, God gave me a different gift. He gave me this passion for bodybuilding. So that's how life is. You grab that passion, like you lose something, you gain something. Boy, I love this crowd.
Are they generous?
I love this crowd. Get to Montreal. I love this crowd.
I'm biased, but we have the best attendees at this convention.
Come back next year.
You got it. By the way, the food's great because last night I went to a restaurant. You know, it's great. You know what's beautiful about the country? It's very multicultural. It's like people from all over. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's happy. Very positive. People walk on the street. That's what life should be. Beautiful.
This is joie de vivre. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name's Alan. Montreal loves you right back, Lou. We love you. My question is a little different direction, but I just love that Paul Rudd film, I Love You Man, that you were in, right? How did you get involved with I Love You Man?
Well, the writer of the show wrote Zoolander, different movies, and then he approached me if I was interested to be in the film. So I read the script. He said, come to my office in Universal Studio. I went to see him. I said, listen, I like the script, but I think you should extend the scene, maybe at the end of the scene with the wedding scenes, because he wanted to show the movie about romance and bromance, incorporate me in the show, especially when I do that chokehold.
It's amazing.
It was great because it's funny, like it gets hype, but the whole movie itself, like Jason Segel, Paul Rudd, they're great actors. They're so delicious to work with. That's why it's a comedy. That's why it's the best comedy of 2008. So the guy named was John Hamburg. He wrote the story, and I was very grateful to be in that film because people see me doing comedy then besides doing other serious drama roles.
Yeah, you just nailed it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name is Jonathan, and Lou, you competed in the era, you know, a lot of people refer to as the golden era of bodybuilding, and you guys all had really aesthetic physiques and seemed to live to a ripe old age. And now the current bodybuilders, it seems like a lot of them have these, you know, distended bellies, and you hear top bodybuilders like Cedric McMillan and Dallas McCarver dying in their prime competing. what do you think is the big difference? Do you attribute it to the drugs that these guys are taking now that's changed so much?
So the question is like now there's like big bellies on bodybuilders and people are dying in competitions. What's changed?
You know something, when I compete in pumping iron, there was camaraderie. Today's not the bodybuilder's fault. It's the fact that because competition is so much stiffer, keener, the fact that that guy carry more size, more weight, and it's a personal preference with the bodybuilder because sometimes they get involved taking different chemicals. It's their choice, the wrong thing to do because some people get the impression, bodybuilders think that the more drugs you take, the bigger you're going to get. The truth is it comes down to good genetics. If you have great genetics, you'll be a champion. But it's not just the bodybuilding sport, it's other sport too. That's why today there's so many recreational drugs. It's not the steroid, it's other drugs that they're using themselves. Maybe they're trying to alleviate depression, stuff like that. But I think I missed the symmetry back in the 70s. That's why when I came back to competition, I was 325 pounds. I tried to show as much mass as I could, but at the same time, I sacrificed some symmetry. It's tough today to be a world champion bodybuilder. The diet, the training, and the judge, it's a subjective sport. It is different. So it's a personal preference.
Thank you.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Yeah, hi, my name is Danny. And I always loved your smile and your positivity every time I saw you in a picture or in an interview. And I always liked your Hercules part, your part as Hercules. And I was going to ask you wanted to come up here and ask you a political question because you also worked for I think you worked for the Trump presidency as a bodybuilder, as a fitness guru, or you worked for them, and I wanted to ask you about that, as well as, or you could take the lighter, non-political thing and tell us about what it was like on Hercules to come on and see all the outfits, the costumes like Callista and all the other ones would have on, because I found the outfits in Hercules just fantastic. They were a lot of fun.
And the question is?
The question is, what's it like working as a fitness advisor to, the United States at one point, and also the costumes on Hercules?
So what's the question?
Oh, the question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, sorry. What was it like work, because you're a very positive person, and all I hear is about the negativity when it comes to politics in the US. So what was it like for you as a positive person to work for I think it was the Trump administration when you were working for the presidency, as a fitness advisor, weren't you? And if I'm wrong on that, go with the Hercules question on what was it like coming in and seeing Callista in her outfits? So.
What was it like seeing Callista in her outfits in the Hercules series?
The Hercules, what's the question again?
What did you think of the costumes for the Hercules series?
You mean the movie I did?
Yes.
The Hercules, I think it's very close to the character because if you look at the Farnese Hercules, of course he had no clothes on. He's leaning against the rock. I thought it was great. I thought the way it was done because we filmed in Rome, Italy. And all the locations were real. Like, for example, the scene when they fight the dragon, it was down underneath the street in the catacomb. The scenery was beautiful. We filmed different parts of Italy. It was phenomenal because the fact that it goes back to the original Hercules. I had a lot of fun. I get a chance to have a beautiful tan. The hardest thing about Hercules for me is from the first day to the last day, I had to maintain the same condition. In other words, if I gained 10 pounds, if I didn't train as much, it would show on the screen. That's why whenever you make a film, it's permanent. You can't go back and change it once the film is released. So it was interesting, when I filmed Hercules, I was always a big fan of Hercules. I wanted to show the epitome of the physique, but at the same time, adapt to the character as far as the strength, had to do with the fables and the stories back then.
Thank you so much. What is your name and what is your question?
Hi, I'm Michael. You had an appearance in the Hulk film that was released in 2003. That you played like a security guard with the one and only Stan Lee. My question is, what was it like being part of the Hulk film that was released in 2003?
What was it like being part of the 2003 Hulk film?
It was fun. The only thing I was disappointed was the CGI's Hulk, because they should have showed my motion capture with me. Ang Lee, he was the director, he did it. But the thing is that he brought it back to the character, but the Hulk wasn't believable enough. It was more of a cartoon instead of being like the real looking character. So I felt like when we did the film, I was very honored to be in the film with Stan Lee. Because Stan Lee created the character. There was a cameo with Stan Lee, and then after that, did a cameo with Ed Norton. I was very happy to be part of that, but a lot of the fan people today rather see the OG Hulk because the new computer generated can match the OG Hulk unless they improve the CGI.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. Oh, okay. Well, you were here first, sir, so we'll just continue on this side. What is your name and what is your question?
My name is Anthony. I was wondering if you will do a sport, a team sport, what will it be?
If you would do a team sport, what would it be?
A team sport, football.
And,
Did you know that I played for a short time for the Toronto Argonauts? I had no experience, but it was a fabulous time. And you know, Canadian football is different because they have 3 yards instead of 4. They can anticipate, but it requires more speed. But just it was a great experience.
And what's your favorite sport? Your favorite team sport to watch?
What's your favorite team sport to watch?
The Lakers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this is unfortunately going to be our last question, but Mr. Ferrigno is going to be at his table right after this, so if you didn't get a chance to ask, head on over. And hi, you're rounding off with the last question.
No pressure.
No pressure.
I grew up watching the whole TV series with my mom, who watched it when she was younger as well. And it was really funny to me when I was watching, I was 4 or 5 years old, and I got online after, and I saw you on a YouTube channel with Smosh. And I was wondering if you had any memories of filming that and how it came to be, because I remember seeing so random how my internet hero and my superhero are on the same YouTube channel.
How did you end up doing Smosh? Was the YouTube channel?
Yeah, that was something a friend of mine recommended. We did those videos because I kind of funny in a way to show a different aspect of my personality. It was fun. I'm glad you liked it.
Give it up for Mr. Lou Ferrigno.
Thank you.
Please go see him at his table. He's available for autographs.
Every one of you in life have a passion. Embrace your passion. I don't care what it is. Thank you for coming. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.